Hey, it's James here from GoodGuitarist.com, and in today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play Neil Young's Heart of Gold. This is what we're going to be learning.
Expressions I never give that keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old. Keep me searching for a heart of gold, and I'm getting old.
This song is based on the four most popular chord shapes ever, but in a little bit of a different order. We have E minor, C, D, and G. I do have a couple tips for you to make the switching easier. We start on E minor, we leave our middle finger down, and we can get into that C chord pretty easily. C to D, we drag our ring and middle down to the highest strings. It's a great transition. And then from D to G, we leave our ring finger down. From G back into E minor, leave your index down, you know. And if you want more of those tricks and to like really master chord switching, that's what I begin to accomplish in that crash course. I also have Learn Guitar Once and For All, which is a complete experience start to finish. I'll talk more about that at the end of this lesson. Anyways, get your chord shapes pretty good, because now we're gonna utilize them to learn the intro, which goes like this. So we start off on E minor, and we're going to add our pinky to the 3rd fret of the B string. We pick the thickest string, and then we strum all the strings, and we immediately stop them by touching them with our hand. And that's a little tricky to get used to. Strum, stop, strum, stop, strum, stop. So I would do that a whole bunch of times at your own pace. Strum, stop, strum, stop. You can even count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and strum on the numbers and stop on the ands. You know, you practice that a bit. Might take a few days or a couple weeks of practicing it till you can get it like that, where you just kind of whip out my hand and then I bring the palm in. If you go too far, you're gonna have way too far to come back. So try to keep the motion smaller. So I'm just kind of doing it with my wrist. Notice my arm doesn't really move. It's just my forearm rotates a bit. And as far as the rhythm, we would go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're doing it 6 times, 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we switch to a D chord. And then we do another downstroke on that D chord, but it can be a little bit quieter. And then we switch to regular E minor, full downstroke. So that second measure is pretty straightforward, just D. As far as the rhythm, 1 and 2 and. So we strum D on 1 and 2, and then on the and of 2, we quickly switch to E minor. And then we go play a little classic pentatonic riff on the A string, O2, and we hammer that one. So we hammer to the 2nd fret. I would use my index or my middle. And then on the D string, O2 without a hammer on. So I would just go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. As far as like the exact rhythm, it's 3 E and 4 and. So we have to introduce 16th note counting. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and. Let's play that entire thing with our metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and. And after we play this intro bit, we're just gonna do some chords and strumming. We're playing our classic E minor, C, D, G chords, and our pattern goes like this. And that is a pretty basic pattern. We go root, root, down, down, up. Root just means hit the thicker strings. And as far as, you know, the pattern, the down and up strokes really don't mean anything without the counting. We want to count this out. We want to go 1, 2, 3. That part's easy enough. And then on beat 4, down, up. Treating the down, up like a single entity. That way we only count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want, you can break it down and count the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, you know, and then get to the point where you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then get to the point where you just feel it and you're not really counting. You can play it with a metronome and you can loop it over and over again. That's where we want to be with our strumming pattern, you know, to make the song feel comfortable. And then as far as like the feeling of it, we actually can palm mute. We can go like, you know, that's what you'd hear on the recording. So for that, I'm lightly touching the thicker strings with the heel of my palm right here. So I go, first my palm hits the strings and then my pick comes down. It kind of pivots off of it. Like if you think about it, like it's all falling down. My palm falls down, my palm lands, and then my pick keeps falling. It's not completely muted though, right? So he's only muting the thicker strings and he's going gently. I'll do that in slow motion. You know, sometimes when you're doing it super slow, you can't really pull it together, right? You have to do it up to speed to really get the sounds to come out of the guitar, right? Because it requires a certain amount of velocity and force to really get it to sound right. But I do recommend breaking down the motions and, you know, doing it slowly, even if it sounds crappy, and then trying it fast, and, you know, you'll be surprised what works out. Anyways, we do that with our chord progression. While he plays harmonica, you know, do that 3 times. And then we play our intro riff one more time, and that's the entire intro. And then we're going to go into the song. Same progression, but we're not going to be muting anymore. And we're actually going to change our pattern a little bit. Instead of going root, root, down, down, up, you know, that was just to accommodate the palm muting. We're going to go down, root, down, down. So almost the exact same thing, but a downstroke on beat 1. And we just strum through the progression. Down, root, down, down, up. I wanna give. I've been a miner for a heart of gold. It's these expressions I never give. And then here we're gonna get into sorry if I offended Neil Young there. I just love my little fake impression of him. Anyways, then here we're gonna go back to the searching for a heart of gold. But we go E minor 2 times and G 2 times. But it's that palm muting thing again. And if that's too much, don't do it. Just go down, root, down, down, up. Just stick with the same pattern. And then after that, we have some chord shots. You know, so a lot of rhythmic events in this song. It goes like this. And for that, I just recommend writing out 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And then we're playing C and G chords. That's it. And we just put our downstrokes where we want them, you know? So for the C chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, this is where visual aids really help. Like, you can write down what you see at the top of the screen. Maybe I'll put it on my website. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'll have to figure that out. Copyright stuff. But you write that down, you know, or you check it out on my site, and you just count out loud and you play the downstrokes on certain numbers. You know, that's how you get the chord shots down. And then for the second half of it, we're still on the C chord. We go 1, 2, we switch on beat 3 to G, and then we play G on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that second measure, 1, 2, switch, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you practice it slowly. You count out loud. You do all the stuff that makes you better at guitar. And then you try it up to speed, you know, going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, switch, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's still pretty slow, but you start to feel the rhythm, you know, and then eventually you can do the whole thing. Anyways, after those shots, we just repeat that entire section, you know, E minor 2 times, G 2 times, and then the shots bit. And that gets us through the entire verse and chorus. Following that, it's just going to be the same stuff that we already did, you know, so there's another harmonica instrumental part. And then our second verse is pretty much the same thing as the first verse. There's another instrumental part, and then finally there's an outro. And for the outro, it's a little bit different. We do our muted pattern, and we're going to go E minor 2 times, then D. And for that D and E minor part, for those 2 measures, we're going to adjust our strumming pattern. For the D chord, we go root, root, down, and then we quickly switch to E minor, and we play a downstroke on the and of 2. And I know that breaks the strumming rules, but, you know, that's going to happen, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. So you can see it all above. You know, I just want you to take a look at that. I'm going to play it slowly. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we just play that 3 times, and then we end it with the same thing that our chorus ends with, where we go like, I've been a miner for a heart of gold. And just end it on that G chord, and there you go. Now, if you want to play through the entire song with me, that's available on my Patreon page. I'll put a link to that down below. We do the entire song start to finish, a little bit slower than the original recording, with the metronome, with the chords and all that stuff. You can see it all. And also, if you want to build up your skills on guitar, don't forget I have that free ebook. I also have a course, Learn Guitar Once and For All, which is for people who can't quite get the rhythm to click, can't quite get their chords super sharp, you know, so I'll put a link down below for that if you want like a guided journey, start to finish, from where you're at to being a super confident strummer who can just show up and just play guitar. And if you're looking to get a little bit further, you know, if you're already good with the chords and the strumming, and you just want to like add some expression and really be able to like feel it, I have a course, Strumming Made Simple, which is gonna really help you out with that. So I'll put links to all that stuff down below. Otherwise, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, you know, do all that YouTube stuff. I really appreciate if you could take the moment to do that, because it really does help me. Also leaving a comment, you know, if you have a question or even just to say hi. Otherwise, have a fun time practicing, and I'll see you soon.